Okay, so when I wash the tails, I'll use just regular horse shampoo. And then I condition it with just regular, regular conditioner. And so then what I do is I'll wash the tail about 3 times to make sure that it's good and clean. And when I wash it, I make sure that it's way down to the bone. That's really, really clean. You got to really pull the hair, apart to make sure that you get it close to the bone. And then you rinse it really good, and then I'll condition it, let it sit for 3 minutes, and then I rinse that really, really good. I'll take like laser sheen. I have my laser sheen, and I'll spray it, saturate it really good, and then I just let the tail dry. I don't brush it or anything like that. Never use a comb, because that's going to break your hairs. For a good tail, you want to have nice long hairs and not short hairs. So you want to have nice long hairs to grow. And so the only way you're going to keep those long hairs is if you don't break them. So when you're initially going through the tail, use your fingers and just finger comb it first to get any wind knots or anything out of it after your tail is dry. You don't want to do this when the tail's wet. If you do it when the tail's wet, just use only your fingers so that you don't break any hairs off. This is just used just to kind of separate it. Once the tail's completely dry, go through it again with just your fingers. Initially get all your knots and stuff out, and then once you get that done, then you use a brush. And once again, don't ever use a comb to comb out your mane and your tail, because that's what breaks your hair. And so you brush it out really good, get all the knots out, brush it all the way to the bone of the tail, and you want nice long hairs. That's what your goal is. And so you want to treat it all kind of gingerly. So once you got your tail brushed out, okay, I'll give it another shot of laser sheen.
I'll bring the Warline's guide and we'll eat and read.
Okay, and then from here I'm going to braid it.
So who the hell is that?
It's just a friend.
So when I braid the tail, okay, you don't ever want to braid it up close to the bone.
What does he do?
Okay, the bone is right here. So I'll just kind of initially do kind of a light braid. And then as I get going, then I will go ahead and make my braids tight. Because if you're going to leave your tail in tied up, you don't want your braids to come out. Try and get your 3 as good as even as you can. Mine's not. But the goal is to get all 3 of your strands even. Braid it down all the way to the end.
Waiting in your office.
What you want?
I don't know. All I do know is that I've been working 2 weeks without a break, and you promised me you'd hire more help.
Okay, then when we get to the end, I'll put a band on it, rubber band it.
In either the food service or housekeeping industries.
And I'll double up my rubber bands so they don't break.
Quick bit of job.
Okay, so once we get to this point,
What do you want?
Can I help you?
okay, then once again I find my bone, okay, which is right here. The bone of our tail is right here. I'm going to pull my braids apart, take the tail, the end, bring it back through.
Well, I have PhDs in parapsychology and
Okay, if you got a long tail, you might have to go twice. Okay, if it's a short tail, maybe only once.
Yeah, you can say it.
I'll bring it through again.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay,
And where do you put
so
these
now we've got
once you catch them?
kind of a ball here.
Into a storage facility.
Take a large rubber band,
And would the storage facility be located on these premises?
Now I'm going to rubber band
And may I see
this
the storage facility?
all together.
No. And why not, Mr. Beckman? Because you did not use the magic word. What is the magic word?
Get it
Mr.
as tight on there as you can because that's what's going to keep your tail together. Okay, then we take a sock. I got a regular sock and I cut it.
Why do you want to see the storage?
So I got
Well,
two
because I'm
pieces.
curious. I want to know more about what you do here. Frankly, there have been a lot of wild stories in the media, and we
Okay.
want to assess any
Take the
possible
end.
environmental impact from your operation. For instance, the presence of noxious, possibly
Okay.
hazardous waste.
You just
chemicals.
bring this up.
Now you either show me this story down there, or I come back with a court order. You go get a court order, and I'll sue your ass for wrongful
And
prosecution.
once again, below
You can have
your
it.
tailbone, take these, you run it through.
Something big on the horizon. What do you mean the big?
Well, let's say this Twinkie represents the normal amount of psychokinetic energy in the New York
Okay.
area. According to this
And
morning's
you can just
sample,
tie
it'd
it
be
off however you need to.
35 feet long, weighing approximately 600
Pretty
pounds.
tight.
That's a big Twinkie.
We could be on the verge of a four-fold
Okay,
cross-reference.
so now your tail's all protected in this clean sock. It's conditioned. Your bone is still, you don't have any stress on your bone,
How's the grid holding up?
and it's done.
Tell them about
And you can leave it this way. I try to wash tails every week, every 2 weeks. And if you got a horse, you can turn them out, as long as you don't think they'll catch it on anyway. That's all there is to it.